How's it going today, guys? My name is Christian Gray. Today I'm going to go over my entire screaming process. So to kind of start off, I know there's a lot of YouTube videos out there on how to scream. So right now I'm just going to jump to a clip of me screaming so you can judge if you like my scream, and if you do, watch the video, because I know what it's like to sit through an entire how-to video, get to the end, and go, I didn't even like that person's scream. So that was kind of... So right now I'm just going to show you a clip of my scream when it's fully warmed up, and then you can just judge right off the bat if you like it and want to keep watching this video or not. Yeah. So, you heard my scream. If you don't think it sucks, then I'm gonna start this video. I am breaking it up into 3 parts. First one being my warm-up routine. The second one, how I actually do my scream. And then 3, how I preserve my voice. In the description section below, I've linked up timestamps to where if you already have a warm-up routine and you just want to learn how to scream, you can jump right to that part. I have not done any warm-ups today. I haven't screamed at all. I'm just going to go through my entire process with you guys. And I am going to be singing on camera because a lot of this comes down to confidence and not really caring what other people think, as long as you're comfortable with it. So you need to sing in order to scream. So phase 1, what you're going to need is water. Got the water. Now you're only going to need like 1 water bottle. So step 1, drink some water. So the first thing that I do after I have my water is I start, you know, because I know there's like the Melissa Cross and you do like actual warm-up scales and stuff like that, and that works. That 100% works and is very effective. I've done that before. Just for me personally, I got really bored doing that. I just didn't feel like spending 15 minutes to 30 minutes just doing scales. I got really bored really fast. And I know that's probably not the best thing, but this video isn't how I think you should be doing things. This is completely just how I do things. And you know, if it's something you want to try and it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, start low. I start low. I do my low register kind of voice. I do like low octaves on things, and then there's things called, like, I think they're called lip rolls, which is like I do a lot of those. It really, that really helps. That is like the one like warm-up exercise that I do. But I just find songs that I like to listen to, but for like 3 or 4 songs I just do low octave singing. And if you guys don't really know what that is, that's like if someone's singing like this, then you go, then I'm gonna sing like this. It's the same note, but it's just, you know, an entire octave down. Yeah, so I just start low. I'm gonna do a little bit of that because it is confidence. I know a lot of people go, oh, I don't really want to do this because my parents are home, or you know, somebody else is home. That's something you're just gonna have to overcome, because if this is something you want to learn how to do, then you need to put your focus on you being able to do this one day versus the circumstances of right now. Going, oh, I feel a little embarrassed, I can't really do this around people, because honestly, it took me like 7 years to learn how to do my high scream. It took me like 7 years to learn how to do that, and I probably could have learned it a lot faster if I just would have not cared about that. Yeah, so start off with lip rolls, low octave singing. Let me just show you a little clip of that real quick. Look at you now, another face in the crowd. Look in my eyes and read between the lines. I am the headline. I am the headline. So you want to do like 2 to 3 songs of just like doing a low octave kind of thing, For me, a lot of Sleeping with Sirens, honestly, is really good for that because he sings so high. I'm able to do a low octave, but it's not too low. And then you want to go to mid-range, kind of like full voice stuff. For me, my go-to song whenever I'm warming up, Sumerian Records had like this vocal competition thing for a new band, like make your own song based off this instrumental. And Andy Sizek, I think is his name. His cover, I think it's the #1 one. I think it's the #1 right now. That's the song. I downloaded that, I put it on my phone, and it's my go-to warm-up song every time because I can kind of do my full voice because it's not too high, but then when he goes to places I can't go, then I'm able to do the low octave on that, so I'm able to work on both dynamics of my voice at the same time. So I guess here's me doing some of that. And again, like, I'm not a good singer, but if you can hear it and you go, okay, he's doing it, then hopefully it'll just give you the confidence.
Best solution if you feel lost in life. I felt that way before. I feel like the routine's all messed up.
He's the man.
Swiftly it starts, impulses driving me so far astray. I feel a part of myself expire, wither away. Carry the spark, or smother it and lose your grip. Left with a mark, a dream of a star. This isn't my reality. This is my holding on to something greater. I never knew vitality. A soul that wanders lost within a song.
So find songs that you can sing low register, mid-range, and then kind of your full voice. And honestly, for me, from going on tour, sometimes I don't even need to listen to the music, because like that last song, it's a little bit higher than what my regular range is able to do. Again, I'm not a singer, but to where I'll just like find a place, even though people are walking around and doing stuff during the show and everything, I'll like find a place to go that's not around as many people, and just sing the song in my head. I guess just to show you kind of that, because this whole video is like kind of me just showing you exactly what I do.
So take me to a better place where I'll embrace the soul inside of me. Go at peace, for beyond this mess my mind can rest. The current carries me along.
Cool. And then moving on, this is like, okay, so once you get your low range kind of warmed up, your mid range kind of warmed up, and your full voice kind of warmed up, and you're doing lip rolls in between like instrumental sections of the songs, that's where I move into warming up my screaming. But I make sure that when I'm doing this part, since it's the first time that I'm screaming for the day, that I'm doing my scream but without all the power behind it. So it's more just like the air and my vocal cords like sitting the way that they need to sit to make the scream happen. But it doesn't sound good, there's no power behind it, it's not full sounding. So kind of what that sounds like for my lows, this is literally what it is. That's without any power. And then a high behind that is that's what it sounds like. And my kind of go-to song when I do this part of my warm-up routine is A Prophecy by S.K. Alexandria, to hear some of that. And keep in mind, when you're warming up, don't feel the pressure like, oh, I need to do the entire line of words. Like, you're just warming up, you're not performing for anybody, so if you can only do half of it and then you start running out of breath, you're not trying to impress anybody, you're just warming up.
Will be
See, now at this point I'm almost done with this water. So sometimes I go through 2 bottles of water in a warm-up session. It just kind of depends on how I feel, because when I start doing my screams, I can tell if there's any sort of like kind of slight burning or like any sort of like uncomfortable feeling in my throat. But like that's like a sign that I need to warm up my singing voice more. So then I'll go back and do more low octaves, more lip rolls, kind of work on my mid-range more, and then see if I can start hitting some higher notes. Maybe not necessarily in key, but I'm able to like just put the air out and I'm not like straining my voice to like just hit a note. And then I'll go back to doing screams. And the reason I want to do like a high range song or something that's like complete full voice is because that's going to start working the higher parts of my vocal range, which is like what I use for hitting the high scream. So one of my go-to songs for my full voice singing warm-up is another song about the weekend, the acoustic version by Day to Remember. Once again, keep in mind, I'm not a singer.
They keep playing sad songs on the radio, and I feel like I'm so alone on this 15-hour drive. In all the world, I tell myself to just believe, 'cause nobody can give so much and never get anything. Everyone I used to know, they said I knew what I'd become. But I'm still the same, not much has changed, I still know where I came from. Fell asleep with the lights on, ready for anything, if you can wait for me.
Sometimes I can't hit the notes, but you don't want to like push too hard, or you don't want to like force yourself to hit notes. If you're not ready to hit those notes because you're not warmed up enough, that's fine. Just don't force yourself into it. Take your time when you're warming up. So that's kind of my whole warm-up routine there. So now let's go into exactly how I do my scream. With no power, you know, I'm just gonna go with no power and transition into what my full voice sounds. I'm not sure I feel completely warmed up right now. I could probably spend like another song or 2 on it, but yeah. You know, as you've heard in like every tutorial, diaphragm control is like the #1 thing, and that's, you know, I don't really know if you can see it, but that's right here, and like put your hand on it, flex your chest, breathe in, and then like, all right. So I start with that, and I go. So yeah, and with highs, it's just a little different, but you just kind of open up more instead of doing like O's with your mouth. It's like right. Oh my God. Right. Oh my God. Oh my God. Then over time you're gonna learn like how to like put more control into it to lift it up to like kind of hit the higher note. So like a regular high is just and then if you kind of like, it's weird, it took me forever to learn how to do this, but like when I put the back of my tongue, arc it kind of, and then like it kind of feels like, not like, I don't want to say the word pressure, because I'm not using like my throat to push out the scream, it's through the diaphragm, but it's like in here kind of goes in more, like my vocal cords go in. They're not like tight and condensed and pressured feeling, but they kind of like sit closer together, so it's like and it sounds so different in my own head than it actually just recorded. You know, to me it sounds like absolute garbage, but then I'll scream and I'll hear it back and I'll still be like, that's still not very good. But if I put a microphone over it and then I scream and then I hear a recording back of what it sounds like through a microphone, then I'm like, wow, that actually sounds good. So if it sounds like crap in person, that's fine. You're probably doing it properly. But when you go through a microphone, like, I'm not sure how this is gonna sound like on camera, but if I go, ooh, light, ooh, light, it's probably gonna sound different. But yeah, my voice actually sounds like pretty warmed up right now. But yeah, so ooh, so yeah, that's kind of how I scream. If you want to go over it more one-on-one, so I can like go with it through you specifically, I do have a website that I just launched. There will be a link to it, and there will be a contact form where you can kind of fill in, be like, you know, subject line, vocal lesson or something, and then, you know, we can work on a time to actually like get on Skype and go over everything together. So yeah, so that's kind of how I scream, my warm-ups, and so to cap off the video, just some ways to kind of protect your voice. If you do a lot of shows or you're going on tour and stuff like that, make sure you're doing your warm-ups, and that's number one. And for me personally, I go through 1 or 2 water bottles during my warm-up, but otherwise I'm drinking water all day. So I'll have 2 to 3 water bottles throughout the day, and then when I warm up, I'll have 1 or 2, and then you know, I'll eat food, but not right before I go on stage. Eat food, I think I eat food like at least like an hour to 2 hours before we go on. I might snack on something, but I don't want it to be anything that'll like get caught in my throat and cause me to cough. But then when we're doing sound check and setting up and everything, I'll have a water bottle with me so I can go over I can do everything that I'm supposed to be doing, but then I have a water with me to kind of start getting me ready. And then if I don't finish that water bottle, then I just use that while I'm on stage. But I do have 2 water bottles just in our 25-minute set that I keep by our drummer Nick. So yeah, I go through a lot of water on a daily basis, but it helps so much. And then the last note too is, when you're done with your show, don't talk too loud for too long. You know, in between bands it's fine because you're talking to people and everything, but then when the next band starts and it's loud again, just be real with people and just say, hey, you know, just bring them in and be like, you know, I gotta protect my voice, so I can't be yelling really loud, so, you know, let's just talk closer. That's all you gotta do, because you don't want to be yelling like, oh yeah man, like, oh thank you so much for coming out to the show. Like, if you're doing that while bands are playing, then you're gonna fuck up your voice, especially if you plan on drinking alcohol afterwards. And it kind of varies from person to person when it comes to drinking alcohol and performing vocally. I've experimented with it. I haven't like gotten drunk or anything while performing, but I have had like a beer before going on stage, and I think those were some of my better shows that I did that on, because it just kind of like loosens you up. So if you're over 21, I'm not saying stay away from alcohol, but at least after your show too. Like, if you have a show the next day and you drink way too much alcohol, that's not going to be good for your voice. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully this helped you in some sort of way. Like I said, if you want to go over it more like one-on-one through Skype, just fill out the contact form on my website. Yeah, this is kind of like just how I do it, and yeah, thanks guys. In the description in the description section below, I've linked up timestamps. So if you just want to, if you know what your warm-up timestamps, so if you already have a in the description